What would you want the minimum yearly income to be for your future husband?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, I said 1 billion.
Okay.
That's not trolling. I'm being dead serious.
Okay. That's your serious. That's the minimum yearly income for your future husband.
Give or take.
It's interesting how people say they're not trolling when they actually are. Andrew, what's your assessment here? Do you think she's a troll?
Now we ask the chat.
Hello?
Hang on a second, Brian. I'm sorry. I got something I'm dealing with.
All right. Okay. $1 billion and nothing less is what you wrote. The minimum yearly income to be your future husband.
That'd be pretty sweet, wouldn't it?
Okay. Is that your genuine answer, or
I mean, who knows if I get married?
do you want to get married?
Maybe, if the right guy comes along.
If he's a billionaire. I'm going to probably leave this one up to the chat. Chat, is this a kick? There's already been too much trolling tonight. This might have to be. This might have to be a.
Well, so that was your good faith answer, $1 billion a year?
Yeah.
Really? That seems reasonable.
Okay, I don't understand why I'm getting all the heat for the trolling. I'm a little bit lost. Like, you asked me a question, I gave you an answer.
I mean, in a perfect world, you should
You're
strive.
You're
for
saying
it,
I
right? Like that's
Why
your
not 2
preference.
billion?
It's not.
See, I like how you
reality.
think. I like how you think better. 2 billion.
Why
Fuck
not?
it.
Why not 5 billion?
5 billion a year. Yes.
I mean, why stop there? Why not $1 trillion?
I just think like it's not really fair to say that I'm trolling, right? Because then we're gonna go around later around the table. It's gonna be like, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, and if we say 10, like, oh, you're delusional. Well, you asked us a question and we're answering. So I just don't think it's really fair that you're coming at me saying that I'm trolling when I'm giving you an answer.
Well,
I came here in good faith.
Well, I mean, that's fair. How about instead of that, you just say, I just don't believe you. Right? So I just think that you're not telling the truth, that your minimum requirement is $1 billion. For instance, have you ever actually dated a billionaire?
I choose not to answer that question.
Yeah, so the answer is no. And so now we have evidence that there's a good chance that you're probably not telling us the truth, that that's your minimum.
Yeah, that has to be.
If your history, for instance, is not dating billionaires, right?
Sure.
Yeah, makes sense.
I mean, and Andrew, I'd like you to weigh in on this. The whole I choose not to answer that question. I mean, that's just totally bad faith.
Yeah, what was the question? I'm sorry.
Well, Andrew, you asked her, well, here, we can test this. Have you dated a billionaire, or the men you've dated,
I
are
choose
they
not to
billionaires?
answer, right?
That's like, what? That's ridiculous. Like,
No, because it would give evidence against the position she gave.
Exactly.
So that's why. It
So-
just seems kind of silly.
Well, I've been single for over 3 years, so who's to say that?
you've
in
been
the
celibate
future?
for over 3 years?
Have I been celibate?
Yeah. Have you been celibate?
No, I haven't been celibate.
Okay. The men that you're sleeping with, are they billionaires?
I choose not to answer that question
What? You've already admitted to sleeping with them. What does it matter if they're billionaires or not?
because it's none of your business.
Okay, well, that's fair. We'll just say out of all the men you've ever dated, even if one has been a billionaire, would you say the vast majority of them were not billionaires?
Again, this question is so not something that I need to answer. We can just move on. Like, you're saying that I'm trolling. You're
not-
carrying it on, and then
Well,
you're
I'm
like, I'm
asking
going
a
to kick you out.
different question. I'm just curious if the majority of the men that you have dated were billionaires, even if you had dated a billionaire.
No, majority were not.
Oh, okay. Well, then it seems to give a counter evidence to your position that the minimum requirement that you would need from a guy would be $1 billion a year. Not only does that obviously sound absurd, but then evidence from your own mouth is basically confirming the absurdity. So we're kind of left with the conclusion that you're just giving bad faith answers in order to derail and kind of be a pain in the ass.
What was the actual question on the sheet?
What would you want the minimum yearly income to be for your future husband?
What would I want?
want the minimum yearly income?
What would
to
I
be?
want?
What's with the attitude? What would you want the minimum yearly income to be for your future husband?
Because how is that trolling? What would I want? What would I want it to be?
So, I mean, there's some degree of like realisticness, you know, to the question.
And because billionaires aren't realistic in your world doesn't mean they're not realistic in my world.
I mean, why not a trillionaire? Why wouldn't you want it to be a trillion?
Because I was being realistic.
Oh, yeah, it's totally realistic.
But you can't ask me what I would want ideally and then tell me my answer is fake. Do you know what I mean? That's like not really, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, sure. You know, I'll even grant this. but
Thank you.
Do you agree with me that that there's inferences with questions, like when somebody asks you a question, they might not be semantically 100% correct, but even if they're not semantically 100% correct, you can infer what the meaning of the question is. Like, for instance, if every other woman at the table answered the question the way that it was intended except you, wouldn't that also lend us even more credibility that you're probably trolling?
Well, I mean,
Right.
every woman at the table is not me, so I can't really compare myself to the other women, respectfully.
Well, how do you make comparisons then? Like, how would we ever make a comparison as to whether or not a person was delusional unless they were making a comparison with people who were not delusional?
Well, you can call me delusional. That's okay. I'll take that.
I didn't call you delusional. I asked you a
I'm saying you
question.
can. I'm saying you can. You can just you could call me delusional.
Yes, I mean, I can do all sorts of things. I can punch my monitor. I can knock my camera over. I can do all sorts of things, but that really has nothing to do with my question, which is how is it that we would ascertain if you were delusional without comparing you to other people? We couldn't. Same thing with your answer, right? We could compare how a regular person would infer the question, and then based on your answer and then the attitude behind it, whether or not you're telling the truth or trolling or things like this, it seems reasonable to me.
I mean, my answer is sure. That's my answer to your question. But I'm not comparing myself to other women at this table right now. You asked me a question about myself, and I answered the question about myself.
So just to be clear, by the way, this is yearly income. So it's not that you just want to date a billionaire. You want somebody who makes a minimum yearly income of $1 billion and nothing less. Nothing less. So for example, you wouldn't date somebody who makes $750 million a year.
Sorry, I must have missed the annual part then.
It literally says it in the question.
Sure, then I apologize. I missed that part of the question.
So what is your actual position on this then?
I would date a billionaire.
Okay, so they have to be a billionaire though.
Don't have to. I said, you asked what I want.
$1 billion and nothing less.
Right.
So they have to be a billionaire.
Sure.
I mean, the chat pretty much wants you kicked. Mm-hmm. So I suppose I could give you one final chance. Are you going to participate in good faith?
Yeah, I've been participating in good faith. I feel like I'm being singled out here, to be honest with you.
How would it be?
Because you came at me saying that I was trolling before the show. I came in with good energy. It was quiet as in here, so I'm trying to pick up the energy, crack some jokes. Everyone was a little tense. So that's all I was doing. So if you think that's me trolling, I apologize for bringing in good energy.
Mm. The thing is, though, is the fact that you refuse to answer the question of all the men you've dated or slept with or been involved with previously, none of them are billionaires.
I said majority were not billionaires.
Right.
That was my answer. I answered your question, so now you're just
yeah. So when's the last time you were with a guy?
I choose not to answer that.
I mean, it pertains to the conversation, so.
Okay, sure. And I still don't.
But it would provide, I mean, you're refusing to answer it because it would provide counter evidence to your claim, your dubious claim here that you want the minimum yearly, or well, I'll just change it. You will only date a billionaire and nothing less. But this is clearly not true if you're sleeping with, dating men who are not billionaires, especially in recent history.
Sure, Brian.
So when's the last time you were romantically or sexually involved with a man?
That I actually don't remember, truthfully.
You-
I'm not
you
trolling. I'm
don't
actually not.
remember. I'm not asking for a specific date and time. You can just say, oh, it was 3 months ago.
It was probably a few months ago.
Yeah, weren't you
Wasn't I
Okay.
recently what?
Let's see here. Andrew, what do you think about this one from her? Would you rather cross paths with a man or a bear in the forest? To which your answer is
A bear, because I like animals.
because you like animals. Okay, that's good faith. And then you said no because you don't date, even though there seems to be some evidence that you do. And then how tall are you, and what's the minimum height of a man you would date?
What did I put there? I'm 5'6".
Yeah, what's the minimum height of a man you would date?
I don't think height really matters, to be honest.
Height doesn't matter
For me, I'm saying.
for you.
For me, yeah.
So you would date a guy who's shorter than you.
I've dated someone my height before.
You've dated them, but is that your preference?
I think I'm more of a personality person.
You're a
So,
personality person.
I would date. Okay, I know where you're going with that. I would date. You're asking specifically about height. Height doesn't matter to me.
How do you reconcile being a personality person, but you refuse to date anybody besides a billionaire?
Because you're asking me for height. Height preference.
I know, but you also said you're a personality gal. So wouldn't this extend itself to somebody's income or financial standing?
Sure. To an extent.
So how do you reconcile I only care about personality with you will only date a billionaire?
I see like you're putting words in my mouth. I never said I only date.
Yeah, sure.
based on
You said you're a
personality.
personality gal. Personality is more important than like other things like height.
Yeah.
Okay.
But not more than money.
Not more than money. Okay, I see. So perhaps no reconciliation is needed then. Okay, and then finally here,
Wait, personality to you is not more important than money? Is that what you just said? I just
We're
wanna make
saying
sure clear on that.
we're weighing things on a scale, right?
Yeah.
So that was the first
personality-
thing that was
push
asked.
yourself into frame.
Yeah, so personality to you, less important than money. I just want to make sure we're clear on that.
Yeah, it's secondary.
How did you do on that dating show anyway?
Great.
Yeah, did you win?
There was no winner.
No, there wasn't. Did you tell the person that you were going to be dating that you cared more about his money than his personality?
No, I didn't get that far.
No. I mean, is that a legitimate answer you'd give on a dating show? Like, if the guy asked you, do you care more about my personality or my money? Would you be like, your money?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Metro Matt donated $200. You're a troll who does off. You have zero respect from anyone. Why waste your time to come on a show? Is it just to grift? Or are you really that thirsty for attention and to gotcha men?
Would you like to answer that?
Well, first, you're welcome for the donation. I mean, I really did come here in good faith. I think you guys are thinking my personality is more trolly than like I actually like. This is just me being me. So I'm not coming on here to be a troll. I've been on here 2 times already, and somehow I don't know. Today you came in with a different energy towards me. So I think that's you problem more so from the beginning. But I came here in good faith. I wouldn't travel all the way here if I wasn't coming here in good faith. That doesn't really make a lot of sense to me.
Well, I don't have any preconceived notions.
Libertarian
about
donated $200. Don't kick her, it's what she wants. The best option is to leave her there and ignore her for the rest of the show.
That is an option. What's that,
I
Andrew?
mean, that is true. Well,
That is an
I
option.
don't have any preconceived notions. I haven't seen any of the episodes that you were on. I don't recall engaging with you, so. But it does seem like a very bad faith answer to put the minimum down for what you'd accept from a man to be $1 billion. That seems.
Well, see, again, you guys are using the wrong words, right? You're saying like it has to be. You asked me what I want.
Yeah, why would you settle for less than what you want?
You're asking ideally what I want. I gave you an ideal answer.
So if that's what you want, you wouldn't settle for less than you want. That seems like it would be a minimum, right? It'd be like if I said I want if somebody asked me what's the quality you want in your wife, and I said for her to be faithful, I wouldn't settle for less than her being faithful, right? Would you, if you say, I want a man who makes $1 billion, you settle for less of what you
Well,
want?
I feel like her being, this isn't apples to oranges, because her being
Well, every
faithful is a little bit out
analogy
of
is
your,
apples to oranges.
I mean, apples to apples. Sorry, my bad. Thank you for calling me out on that. What you're saying, though, like, that's out of your control if your wife is faithful, so.
Yeah, but why? But so what? It potentially out of your control. If
It's
your
like, it's
ex
what
is
you
a
want, right?
billionaire.
But is that like gonna necessarily happen or not? I don't really want to argue. Like, I'm not really here to like argue. I was really here to just like be chill. But like,
Well, it's not much of an argument, really. It's not like we're doing blood sport debates here or anything.
yeah,
Just kind of clearing up some bizarre semantics because it was a bizarre answer, and it seemed kind of trollish. Can you at least grant that it would seem to be very trollish if you say, I want a man who makes $1 billion, that seems just slightly absurd. And when you match it on your personality, you don't seem like you're a complete idiot, so it seems perhaps contrived, right?
I mean, it can seem that way to you. My genuine answer was that. I'll leave it at that, and then you guys can do what you want with that answer.
I think it's okay to have high standards, especially because you're beautiful and like, you know, you do OF, you have a lot of money, you're on Temptation Island. So I think it's okay to have high standards.
High standards.
Yeah.
What's the difference between high standards and unreasonable standards?
Well, like, I think there's an exception. Like, if this person has a really good personality and they don't make $1 billion, like, she might go for him.
No.
But it's not like,
She said she won't settle for less, nothing less than a billionaire. So, and she said she values money over personality. Right. Let me ask you a question. Would you rather date a guy who makes like let's say, $90,000 a year and he treats you amazingly, or a guy who's a billionaire, and you got to pick one? A guy who's a billionaire, but he's, which do you pick?
Okay, that's a bit extreme. That's a loaded question, I would say.
If you have to,
Is a
sure, and you
loaded
can choose to
question.
pick the guy who's not. Which
All right,
one do you
he
pick?
treats you like shit. How's that?
How much do I see him? Because billionaires are very busy.
You see, well, I mean, you see him a lot, right? Because I would assume that you would be some sort of trophy for him, or he wouldn't marry you.
There's a lot of factors I think that would go into that question specifically for me to be able to answer that.
Okay, give me some of those.
90,000
factors,
is
and then I'll
pretty
take
good,
them
though.
in. What's that?
I said 90,000 is not bad. For like a guy that treats you well over a person, I
Well,
wouldn't
didn't
want.
say though.
Well, he did.
So I changed the parameter though. He just treats you like.
But right, like that. There's so many factors. What do you mean by treats you like? Because right, people
He's just
have
not very
different
nice to
standards
you.
for
He's
relationships.
just not very nice to you,
Is
and he
this,
doesn't really care that much about your opinions.
is this all the time, or is this like
Most of the time.
doesn't care about my opinions?
Most of the time. He
I
doesn't
think
care.
I would still
I
pick
mean,
the
why would he?
billionaire.
He's a billionaire.
Yeah,
what does he
I think
need for what opinions are you going to give a billionaire that he needs, right?
Yeah, you're so right.
Yeah, what opinions? So,
Women,
I mean,
yeah,
that makes
don't.
sense, right? Well, yeah, I mean, right, what opinion would I give a billionaire that he would care about? Nothing. He wouldn't care about my opinions.
That made me kind of feel sad that you would say that even about yourself.
Yeah, okay, anyway, can you answer my question now?
I did answer your question already.
Yeah, why don't you repeat back my question so that I know you even heard it?
Your question was, would you pick the guy that was making $90,000 and treated you really well, or the billionaire that doesn't treat you as well?
Great, can you give me the answer to that question now?
I said I would still pick the billionaire.
You still pick a billionaire, okay. So I don't think you're trolling. I mean, maybe you're just a reprehensible person. That could be possible. Yeah, well, I mean, just a couple of questions. So do you agree that Los Angeles, California is a place where many, many young, beautiful women go in order to make it in both Hollywood or in order to network? It's probably one of the major places on planet Earth for young, beautiful women to go to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you would say that the competition out there is pretty stiff, right?
I don't look at other women as competition, but if you put it that way, then sure.
Well, you don't look at other women as competition?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Like, so you've never thought, wow, there's really a lot of beautiful women around me, and there's going to be some type of competing which has to be done if you want to get a ring on your finger by a billionaire at least. Right?
No, I don't really look at that scenario in that way.
What way do you
Truthfully.
look at it?
I've never walked into a room of bad and I'm like, damn, there's competition in here. That's like not really how I live my life, you know?
Okay, how do you look at it then?
I'm Alex Zamora. I live my life and I look how I look, and my personality is what my personality is. So I will gravitate towards the people that like me.
Yeah, right. But again, you're gonna have a ton of competition in that localized area, especially the Los Angeles area, all around there, Santa Barbara. There's tons of rich yuppies all around that area. That's true. But they can get whoever the they want. So why do they want you exactly? When they can have any beautiful woman that they want.
Well, maybe they don't. That specific guy that you're talking, like, I don't know what we're even talking about here, because you're trying to make me feel like I should have competition with other women, but that's just not how I run my life.
Well, you run it that way or not doesn't mean that that's not the fact of the matter. The fact of the matter is that there's many, many women who are in a similar boat to you who would want a man who was handsome and made a lot of money. You would agree that that's true, right?
Sure.
So what makes you exceptional in comparison to these other women?
I'm me. All the qualities that I am and I have.
And those are?
My looks, my personality.
But looks-wise, you're in a place that is known for having the most beautiful women on planet Earth.
Sure, beautiful is subjective.
Yeah. Well, perhaps. But do you think that there's a subjective standard which is shared by most people?
Sure.
Like, for instance, don't you think that if you ask most men if they thought that Megan Fox was hot, or if they thought like a multiple ICU burn victim was hotter than Megan Fox, they'd probably answer Megan Fox was hotter, right?
Sure.
Now, I can concede that there may be some guy out there somewhere who wants a multiple ICU burn victim. I have never met him, but I'm sure he exists. But at least within the confines of the subjective standard, it seems that there would be some kind of agreement as to what a beautiful woman does look like, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So if that's the case, then you seem to, at least from the subjective, have tons and tons and tons of stiff competition, which is available to compete with you. So I'm just asking you, what are the things which would make you stand out from that stiff competition?
My personality.
What's so great about that?
What's so great about my personality?
Yeah.
I'm actually really funny, but you guys are, I don't know,
Oh, yeah.
everyone's
Tell
a
me a
little...
joke. Make me laugh.
I've already made you laugh with my delusional answers.
You haven't made me laugh, but tell me a joke, funny lady. Come on.
That's not really my humor. I'm not
I
like
laugh. I want to
comedian
laugh. Come on, I want to
humor.
laugh. Tell me a
Well,
joke.
she's funny, not a comedian. You know?
No, got it.
Thank you.
All right. What else? What are the other things that really make you stand out?
I am loyal. I cook, I clean.
So the competition that you would have would be against other potential women who are beautiful, at least whatever your subjective standard was, because you're a 10, right? So that would leave an awful lot of other 10s also in competition who are loyal and cook and clean. Gee, I could see where a millionaire would really, I mean, he would be like, damn,
You're so right.
that's the thing that grabbed me. Because all these other women aren't loyal and don't cook and clean. Doesn't that seem strange to you?
It's honestly hard to find that these days. It like low key. But sure, if you feel
It's
that way.
hard for a millionaire to find a pretty woman who cooks, cleans, and is loyal. Really? That's hard for them? You think that's difficult for a millionaire to find?
In LA, probably, yeah.
Where they have like the whitest selection ever, which would be LA, of exactly the, okay. All right. Well, I mean, that's really all I had on it. I don't know where Brian went, but
We don't either.
yeah, I have no idea. Well, let me ask you a question. You guys, you think, raise your hand if you said that you're above an 8. Yeah, your self-assessment was above an 8, or an 8 or higher. Just one? Yeah, okay. So I'm just curious, right? I'm always curious about this. If I ask you in the center chair, the redhead, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name
Haley.
earlier. I usually have my notepad down here. and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
write it
that's
down,
okay.
But I didn't have it handy, so my apologies in advance. What makes you an 8, do you think?
I don't
Not
think.
personality-wise, right? Everyone wants to always say my personality, but it's a self-assessment for beauty
Okay.
and
Aesthetically.
not for personality. Yeah.
I would say I have a bit of a different look. I have crazy big red hair. I don't know. I just look a little bit alternative. I from the attention that I have received throughout my life, I'm judging it on that also. But then that would be personality as well. It's kind of like as a whole. But yeah, I think I've learnt to like myself enough to know that, yeah, I'm good looking. I think it'd be quite worrying if I thought I was less than that, to be honest, with the life experience that I have.
Okay, and then Chair 1, what are the things that make you a 10 from a subjective beauty standpoint?
I have a different look also. I'm half Asian, half Filipino, half Italian, high cheekbones, cute little button nose, big doe eyes that look right into your soul. I don't even know where the camera's
no,
at.
you're
I'm like, where's the
tall, too.
fucking camera?
I mean, look at her.
I have
No,
an
I know,
athletic
look at
build. You know, whether Brian likes it or not, I'm getting a boob job next month. So no more 8 cups. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm athletic, I'm fit, I have a 6-pack, my face is subjectively,
Very
I think,
symmetrical.
attractive.
I don't know if you guys have seen her side profile, but
Yes.
it's making
I know,
me
it's
debate
perfect.
getting a nose
Serious,
job.
it's so
like,
nice.
it's honestly,
Oh, before I kiss you on the forehead.
Yeah, your nose is very nice.
Thank you. I've been getting a lot of nose job allegations, and like, I'm not a gatekeeper, so if I did get a nose job, I totally would put you guys on, give you the surgeon, but this is my nose. I just
if
contour
that
the
was
fuck out of it.
surgery, I would like pay you for the answer.
I don't know,
It's
I
clear that
would
it's
give it to you.
natural.
No, a lot of people are like coming for me on the internet, like, you got a nose job, stop lying. I'm like, I wouldn't lie. I'm very honest.
Yeah,
It's one thing about me.